Hello loves, let's talk about this cake that I surprised my niece with, and we are going to start from the beginning. My niece is going to be 13, or she turned 13, and I told my sister, oh great, I'll make her a cute little cake. She already had a party with friends. You know, she's at that age where she wants parties with friends. And I was like, that's no problem. So I was like, I'll make her just a cute cake for us to celebrate, like with the family. And she's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And so we said that I was going to do it for this weekend because I didn't really have much orders. And she's like, actually, we're invited to a graduation this weekend, so we can't really do it. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Next weekend. And she said, yeah. And I was like, okay. So I aimed for that. But then my sister was like, you know, we usually go to my parents' house on Saturday. So my sister, what time are you guys going today? And I was like, well, what do you mean? I thought you said you weren't coming because you had a graduation. She's like, oh, the lady moved it to next weekend. And I'm like, oh, but I don't have a cake. And then she's like, it's okay, it's no big deal. I go, no, how can I give her gift without a cake? Like, that's ridiculous. And like, we're gonna go there, and you know what I mean? It's just not cute. So now it is what time? It's 11:53, and usually we get there by 4:30 or 5 o'clock, which most likely I'm gonna be there by like 5 o'clock. But we shall see if I finish this on time. I have a very cute cake in mind, and I hope.
Okay, so now that you know the story, this is my first time using this mold. I thought I was going to have a little more time to practice for next week, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. And I thought this mold was going to be rubber, but instead it turned out to be plastic, which kind of sucks because then you can't really bend it to get the fondant out. So there was a lot of trial and error here that I didn't show you guys. And I truly did not have time because I was short on time in order to post everything or record everything. So after I got it to the best of my ability, I put everything together. As you can see, it's not exactly perfect, but I tried. I feel like with a little more practice, I'll be able to figure out how to use this exactly. And painting on a face that small is super, super hard. And she kind of looks super scary right now. So I was going for the half hair pink, half hair black look for Melanie Martinez. And she's awesome, by the way. If you didn't know, she is pro-Palestine. She always screams out pro-Palestine at the end of her concerts. Now I'm working on that portal that you saw maybe in the album. Let me show you a picture just in case. So this is the look of the cake I was going for. So you see how there's an opening behind her, and I really wanted to achieve that through the yellow and the white. And I even copied my niece's name just like the font used in the album. And it's going to have a lot of greenery. I know the greenery is much darker in the album, but using too much food coloring in the buttercream doesn't really make it taste good. So I did airbrush a little bit darker. And also, I wanted to give this cake a little bit of surprise, so I used this stand that I have. It's pretty cool. It makes the cake look pretty awesome. So remember, I started at about 12, and I knew I had to leave the house at around 4:30 because it takes about half an hour to get to my mom's house. But this also has to chill in the fridge for a little bit so that it holds steady from here all the way to my parents'. Now, what I did for the top was I basically just hot glue gunned the board onto the top. I figured that was the best way to make it stick for travel, and then I added all the cream, all the flowers, and all that stuff. And I wanted it to look like the portal on the album where it has a lot of greenery around it. Kind of wish I added a little bit more. And then I had her sit on the buttercream, which the buttercream kind of made her glue itself on there. And then I added all the details finally of the cream and the mushrooms and the flowers, which I didn't show you guys how I made the mushrooms, but they were pretty simple. I was just trying to copy the album and trying to make it out on time. So she had no idea she was getting a cake. She just thinks she's going to my mom's house, her grandma basically. And I know before you guys ask for her birthday, she honestly just wanted a Cold Stone cake, which is fine, but I can't help it. I wanted it to be a little extra special for her. And here is the final product of the cake. And oh my God, she was so happy and excited, and I'm gonna put the reveal right now.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Ava. Happy birthday to you.
She's wearing the shirt. And I heard the shirt. Her face was like, I know.
And of course, you guys all know we have to show you a cake cutting video because I'm sure many of you are like, well, how do you cut that? So she wanted to keep the doll, which after a while, it will tend to harden. It's fondant. Nothing will happen to it. People are like, are ants going to eat it or anything like that? But no, this is made out of processed crap. So not even the ants want to touch it. And you don't refrigerate it. You don't freeze it. You literally leave it on the counter. And after a couple of weeks, it hardens like clay. So honestly, you can kind of keep it forever. But right now, it's still very soft. As for this, I know it's a lot of wasted cream, but what are we going to do, unfortunately? I put the mushrooms on the side because my nephew loves to eat the fondant. And then all you do is just basically lift it up. So remember the little sticks that I put into it prior? They were still stuck on the bottom and I just pulled them out. And now here is the shocking part because I didn't cut the cake like how I usually cut the cake. The reason for this is because this is just a 2-layer cake. Usually my cakes are 3 layers, so it's hard to cut into the triangle pieces. But when it's a smaller cake like you see here, it's a lot easier to serve it this way. And we didn't have a lot of people, so I figured bigger pieces for everybody. But then when it's 3 layers, I mean, you can see how big the piece is right now. So imagine if it was 3 layers. And for those of you who always ask about the straws, you just take them out. I mean, obviously you're not going to eat it. You can either take it out prior to cutting or when you're cutting. I hope you enjoyed and thanks for watching, loves.